Hey guys, happy Thursday. So I wanted to hop on live tonight because I've been getting a lot of questions since I launched my new business, both on Facebook and Instagram, mostly on Facebook, about functional medicine. And I know a lot of you guys have been, we've been friends on Facebook for a while, but maybe you just really didn't know what I've been doing for the last couple of years. And then of course my office closed, so we really didn't talk about it as much. And so I really wanted to come to a public forum and let you know what it is functional medicine practitioners do that's different from your regular doctor. And kind of give you an overview of how we are different. And, you know, I feel like I am the best of both worlds because, hey Alexis, because I was conventionally trained. So when we say conventional, that is like so when I refer to conventional, that is traditional medicine. That is my education in medical school. I am a DO. I was educated just like the MDs, but I like to think I had special training in helping people. So it's interesting. My functional medicine was really deep rooted in the fact that I was trained as an osteopath, a DO. And we see, DOs sort of see the body as a whole. Okay, we see, and it was kind of like woo-woo in the past, like, oh, DOs, like they don't see the system separate, like the, you know, the nervous system separate than the digestive system, separate from the respiratory, which is the lungs, right? So it was really interesting being educated as a DO and how I've come full circle, because as a DO, I learned osteopathic manipulation. So we learned how to diagnose abnormalities of the head, neck, and spine, and the extremities, and how to fix them. But we also would do that to sort of fix things internally, right? So you think, oh my God, what is she? She's crazy, right? No, it works, right? So and chiropractors know this too. But at one point, chiropractors were also like voodoo medicine. Like they were illegal. Like you could not be a chiropractor. Can you imagine that? So we have come so far. So I was trained in conventional medicine, even though as a DO, I was still conventionally trained in that majority of my medical training was targeted to, you know, obviously you have to learn all the science, but then you are taught to make a diagnosis. And then with that diagnosis comes a drug. So a large component of my medical school training was not like nutrition and preventative medicine. And now we're talking 95 to 99. That's when I went to med school. It was mostly symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment with a pharmaceutical. Never, I don't know if we ever talked about dietary or like alternative methods of treatment or like relaxation, meditation. Like that just wasn't, it was diagnosis and drug. So that is how I practice medicine. I was conventionally trained. I went and did an OBGYN residency and an allopathic residency. So when you say osteopathic versus allopathic, it was an MD residency. Whatever, we all had medical degrees. I was training OBGYN alongside my counterparts that did not have the additional training. I always thought I was like special because I had this additional training in like diagnosing musculoskeletal abnormalities that may be associated with internal things going on and how to fix them. Unfortunately, I have lost that skill of manipulation. I know my good friend Peter still does it, and I probably have other friends from med school on my Facebook page that do it. But unfortunately, I lost that skill, which I'm sad to say. But then fast forward like to my injury and then me figuring out that there was something else going on with me that wasn't depression, because I had a ton of symptoms after my fall off the horse, breaking my back, in case you don't know. And that happened in 2012, that I was just like, there was this newfound aspect of medicine called functional medicine that I had no idea about as a conventional doc. I have to say, I would have people coming into my clinic, in my OBGYN clinic, and saying, tell me, I want bioidentical hormones. How can I get them? I'm like, I don't know what bioidentical hormone is. Like, what is that? And, you know, they all would have doctors in New York City that did this special fancy medicine called functional medicine that would prescribe their hormones. And so I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do your exam. I'm going to make sure you're okay. And then you can go back to your doctor, because I don't know what you're doing. And I never bad talked it. I just wasn't educated on what they were doing. So I couldn't write the prescription. I didn't know what kind of hormone levels they were talking about, because in conventional training, we're not trained on a lot of these hormone levels that as a functional medicine doc, I was trained to look at, to figure out like, what are they in perimenopause? What's going on? Is it hormonal? Like as far as their symptoms. So I felt like now that I've had training in both. So let's go back. I found functional medicine because I myself had a diagnosis that wasn't a routine diagnosis in the conventional medical world. And with lifestyle changes and some supplements, I got 100% better, and I completely changed my life. In addition to that, I went and did a fellowship in functional medicine. So I'm trained, so I'm double board certified. I continue to keep my board certification for OBGYN just because I worked hard for that certification, and I keep it up because I want to keep the knowledge up. And then I'm also board certified in functional medicine. So in functional medicine, we look at things differently. So remember I said in conventional, we looked at diagnosis and treatment. Functional medicine, we go to the root cause of the problem. So I really want to know like diabetes, but like there's something, it comes down to inflammation. So what is causing that inflammation? Probably the high sugars. How are we going to change that, right? But the inflammation can cause other things in the body, right? So is our hormones involved? So it's a much bigger picture. We look at the whole person. Again, going back to my roots, we don't look at the systems are all together, intertwined, right? So we try to look at like, what's the big picture causing the little symptom? Whereas as an OBGYN, you'd come into me with one problem. I would make a diagnosis, hopefully very quickly, because I was very busy, and I give you a medication. Because most docs, and I'm not against my counterparts that are still practicing conventional medicine, they don't have very much time for you. I'm telling you, healthcare the way it is, I was triple booked sometimes in a 10-minute visit. So I really was on that same mindset. Like I just and a lot of times and it's our society, when you leave the office with a prescription, you're happy and the doctor's happy because they really didn't get to spend a ton of time with you like they wanted to, but you left with a prescription because you're hopeful that that's going to make you better. I draw a different person to me. So in my new business, I am not a doctor-patient relationship. It is a client, consultant, or /coach relationship, although I bring a lot of the same things to the table, including the fact that I'm going to look at a person as a whole person. You're going to have symptoms and pick them apart, but we kind of got to put the common theme together. Like, okay, is this all from hormonal imbalance, environmental toxins, toxins from food or food sensitivity, or sleep disturbance, or stress, or thyroid, is a hormone, which goes under the hormonal, is it female or male hormonal? Like, we got to get the big picture. Then we have to figure out how to get to correct that big picture, like all the underlying, and there could be like 4 different things going on, right? So that is what we do as functional medicine docs. So we definitely do different testing than routine docs. Regular docs, like we would do the regular testing too, we could. But when you're educated on some more advanced testing, it's kind of cool to figure out what heavy metals you have in your body, what nutrients or minerals you're missing, what your metabolism is doing. A lot of people, I don't want to say it, they have parasites in their gut. Do you have parasites? Like, you have gut issues. There's many reasons. I can go in forever about gut issues, but like, people think it's normal. It's not normal. So you have to sort of kind of take the layers away and be like, okay, what is going on? And dig deeper with the client and figure out what's going on. So functional medicine is a much bigger picture. And I never, ever, ever bad talk my, people always say, how do you live with a conventional doc? My husband, and he would always go to parties when I first started this and be like, well, I get them out of the hospital because they're either dying or they have an infection, something that is hopefully curable, that he can get better quickly and get it out. And he said, to maintain your health or prevent coming back in the hospital, you see me. Okay. So I work with the highly motivated person who wants to get healthy on a different level and wants to really take control of their health. And that it's not going to the doctor and getting a diagnosis and a prescription. I am not against prescriptions. I have to tell you, I do think they're appropriate in many situations, including an infection. I had someone message me today that she thought she had an infection. And I was like, well, this could be serious. You need to go get this evaluated, because if it is an infection, you need an antibiotic. So that's what I'm talking about. So say someone has chronic infections and they want to prevent, well, then there's treatment for that. But if there's something that could progress to something worse, I'm not against antibiotics. I'm not against medication. I am against the fact that a lot of people just go in looking for the quick fix. And that's our society. And it's not the doctors wrongdoing. A lot of people bad talk the docs. That's what they're trained to do. And that's what they think they're doing to help you. And that's what the majority of people want, unlike the people I work with. Okay, so I took my health and wellness to, and it's actually going to a different level now again, that I feel currently tired. I feel like I'm kind of going back to the way I felt a few years back. So I am the perfect specimen of what adrenal issues look like and how I have to get to the underlying root of how I'm feeling to feel better. So I am going to my own functional medicine doc tomorrow. I'm traveling over almost 3 hours to see her. So my practice is, or my business is 100% online. To save on things like this, I'm currently looking at 2 specialty lab tests that I'm actually going to be doing so I can actually help my people when they do them. So unfortunately, in New York State, these tests are not allowed. So I won't even tell you how I got them, but I have to leave the state to collect them and send them in. So if anyone has questions about that in New York State, it's a pain. And if I get clients from New York State, then we'll try to work around it somehow. But hopefully they have connections outside of New York State. Just saying, New York State does not make practicing functional medicine easy, unfortunately, which is why I can't wait to move in 6 years. But so does anyone that's watching have questions? There's lots of you that's popped on, maybe popped off. So that was the biggest question, like, what is it? And the other question is, can it help me? A lot of people messaging me, like, I have XYZ. I've seen a lot of people, but I don't know if it can help me. And here's what I have to say to that. I can't tell you if what I'm going to do is going to help you, okay? I have a wait list that has a little explanation of some things that I personally have gone through and a lot of people think are normal. So if you're not on that, if you hadn't gotten that left yet, I will put the link below. You can read through it. You can get on my wait list. I did just finish writing up a pretty cool email, because those that opt into my wait list obviously are interested in what I'm doing in the healthcare world, in the functional medicine world. And again, fitness and nutrition are going to be tied into that. So if you all think, oh my God, she gave up Beachbody, I haven't. This just, it worked well with my functional medicine practice, and it does work well for the functional medicine business I have now. It's just that sometimes people are not ready for that, right? And I recognized that then, and I recognize that now. It just took me a little bit of time to figure out how to do this 100% online, but I can't tell you if functional medicine will be right for you. What I can do is say, listen, there is a special little thing being offered to those that are on my wait list to try to figure that out. Okay. So you have to get on my wait list and you have to get a very special email coming tonight. That's not the email I was talking about. The very informative, value-packed email is coming probably early next week, because you know, the people that are interested in doing what I do, they're going to get a little extra information from me, and in the form of an email and what I'm doing. And I'm sorry, I just got a phone call from my mother. And so they want to be in the know. So I will give them quality information and things that I am actually personally doing in my own health now that I'm currently going through this again. So they can follow along. They can join me as a client in my business, or they can just follow along and just get some very useful information from me that maybe they can implement themselves, right? You definitely come to me for personalized one-on-one care and the testing and me to walk you through an extended period of time together to make sure that you get on the level of peak performance and health that you want to get to. I'm telling you guys, you don't know what good feels like. You don't know what good feels like. And my email coming probably Sunday night to those on my wait list or my VIP list. It's I won't say what it's about. I'll tell you later. But it's jam-packed with some things that people think are true that aren't true. And I give a little bit of info on how to work around that. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say much. I worked on it all afternoon. So that being said, guys, I'm going to drop the link once more for my wait list. An email, a very special email is going out tonight to try to figure out if functional medicine is for you. There was a little something in the email going out tonight that will help further clarify the difference between what I am and or do as a functional medicine doc versus what I did as a conventional medicine doc. And I can say this because I practice both. So I can talk about both. I don't bash any. So get on my wait list, get that email because it's going out tonight. And if you're not on the email list tonight, you might miss out. Yeah, and that's it. And then you'll be in the know for the weekend for that next amazing little tidbit of value that I'm going to add to your lives. Okay, I love you guys. And I hope this helped a little bit try to determine, or I know a couple of people on this tonight have either spoken to me about functional medicine because they've seen a provider in the past, or maybe they're on bioidentical hormones or whatever. So they kind of know what functional medicine is, and maybe they just want to hear about me and what I'm doing. I'm doing it, but not on the doctor-patient level. It's coach, consultant / client level, and I'm doing a lot of the testing that a regular doc won't do. And we're going deeper. We're going way deep. We're getting to the bottom of why you're not feeling well, and we're going to make you feel better. So that's what I do. And I'm really super psyched to get started and help people change their lives. 2019 is not over. So I'm going to probably have at least 5 people on their way to feeling amazing by 2020. September. Yeah, 3 months. We can do it. All right. Talk to you soon, guys. Love you. Bye.